Hi guys, welcome back to my kitchen and channel. So today I'm just gonna show you how I make my simple gulab jamun. It's not our Caribbean gulab jamun as you know it. It's the round ball that's soaked in the sugar syrup. So let me run through the ingredients quickly with you and show you guys this simple dessert together. Here I have powdered milk. I have semolina or suji or cream of wheat as you know it. I have some water to soak that cream of wheat or suji with. I have here flour, milk, baking powder. I have here a piece of cinnamon stick, some ground elychee and some whole cardamom pods, some sugar, water, finely grinded ginger. I'm not going to be using all of that, I just have it, and some ghee. So let's get putting this together. So the first step into mixing everything together, the dough, the gulab jamun dough, I have here my semolina or suji or cream of wheat as we know it. I have here my water and we will mix it and let it soak for a little bit. Now, as I say, you don't want this too wet. You just want that water to absorb into that grains, that wheat grain, and just leave it for about 5 to 10 minutes, right? The next steps is putting our rest of ingredients together. So we have here our milk powder, our flour goes in, just gonna give it that mix. This is a very easy, simple way to put this gulab jamun together. And over here in the Caribbean, we know it as rasgula. We say rasgula, but in the other places, in other countries, they know it as gulab jamun. So I'm just giving this a little chance to swell. Okay, so we have here our powdered milk and our flour. In goes our melted ghee. Leave the bowl one side because you will need it when rolling out our dough balls. So I'm going in with my hand here. You can use ghee, you can use butter, whatever you like. Just get all that mixed into the milk and the flour. We have our baking powder will go in, and now we will add our cream of wheat or semolina or suji and give this a mix. Now we will add our ground elychee. Now this is optional, but I like that taste of it. And you can add how much you like. It's the flavor of that inside. Now we will add our milk. You're going to add 1 tablespoon at a time. I'm going in with 3. This is what is going to make that dough. It will be sticky because it's milk. If you want to use water to mix it with, go ahead. But it will also be sticky because of that powder milk. And I'm going to add just a very little bit of that ground ginger, but more of the liquid, the water, the liquid from the ginger. As you can see, it has the juices, so just a little bit. I will add the rest when the sugar syrup is boiling. The sugar syrup just has to boil until it's a sticky consistency. It don't have to boil for long. So we're making our balls, our dough first. The dough has to rest for 10 minutes, just for it to rest. I don't make the balls right away. I give it a little resting period. And you see it will get a crumbly state, but it's too dry, so we're going in with another tablespoon of milk. The milk was 6 to 8, it's 8 tablespoons. So sometimes it depends on what milk powder you're using and the moisture from your environment. You will know if you have to use all of your milk. And now we will make our dough because it's a good consistency now. Make sure everything is well mixed. Get everything together now. Into one ball. And you will see if it's mixed properly with that milk powder and the semolina or cream of wheat. And you're just going to take your 2 thumbs and mix it, just to mix everything together. It will be sticky. You see your bowl that your ghee or your butter was in, rub it in your hands and put it on your dough. And that's it. So you're just going to press it out a little bit, open it out back a little bit, And that little bit of extra liquid that we have, just drizzle it over it. Mix everything again. This is just for the moisture, to keep that moisture in there. We're going to cover this with a cling wrap and just leave it to sit for at least 5 to 10 minutes before we're starting to roll out our dough balls. While we're giving our dough, our gulab jamun dough, that 5 to 10 minutes rest, we're going to put up our sugar and water to make our simple syrup. This is optional. Our spice stick, our cardamom pods is a must, and we're going to give this a mix just for that sugar to dissolve out. This process do not take long. It's just until your liquid starts to look a little on the glazy side. It has to be sticky. If you have saffron strands, those orange strands, you can put a few pieces in here too, a few pieces of threads. And I'm just putting 2 teaspoons of that ginger juice. It is optional for who don't like that ginger taste, but I find it's paired very nice with the gulab jamun balls when it's soaked in here. So I'll show you the consistency when this reaches, and we'll move all this and start frying up our dough balls. So after our 5 minutes, I left it for 5. We're going to roll out our gulab jamun balls. Now we're going to use the same dish when we roll it out to rest them in. Saves you. Just dip some oil in your hands. Since it's going to be fried in oil, we're going to use oil, so it will not stick in the dish. Right. And we're going to oil our hands and take a little piece, compress it together, and roll it. Roll it out till it's smooth. If you find it's giving trouble, just put some oil and roll it. If you find your dough is a little feeling a little stiff, just sprinkle. I think mine's feeling a little bit on the stiff side. So we're just going to sprinkle a little water, because as I said, the moisture dries it up and we don't want it to be dry. So just open it back out, let it look like crumbly back, and just sprinkle a little water over it, because it is a tricky dough, but if you know what you're doing, then it will not be hard for you. You don't want that dough to be tough on you. You want it just to be light and fluffy. See, it's a little tough for me, so just a drizzle of that water, because the milk tends to get it a little on the stiff side, but the water will do the trick. Just a drizzle. Right, the dough is feeling a little light now. It's better for me. It will roll out really nice now. So we're just going to take a little bit, squeeze it together, and you will feel it. You will know the difference. So yeah, it's better now. So I'm just going to roll them out. I'm going to wash back my hands because with the oil it's not rolling out properly. So this is what you want that ball. So let me wash my hands. There we go. This will feel like, I don't know if you guys have an idea of painus. It will feel like a dry painus, or like a crumbly consistency. Has to be smooth, so compress it and roll. See how the rolling technique is rolling better now? When you're making the dough, make sure to add 1 tablespoon of milk at a time until it comes together. You should be able to roll it out smooth to a smooth ball. That's a very slight oil. If your dough is too dry, then as I said, sprinkle that little water for the moisture and it will roll to its shape. After we've fried our balls, we have to fry it on low heat. If you find it has a lot of wrinkles on the surface of the dough balls, then you will know it was made the dough was made stiff. Sorry, I was thinking about something. Just keep compressing it and roll. If you're rolling and your dough feels tight, then again sprinkle some water as you go along. Because it is milk, it will absorb that water. So we're just going to drizzle a little bit of water again because it tends to dry out. And another tip is when your gulab jamun balls is fried, don't add them to that sugar syrup at the same time because it will tend to lose its shape, that round shape, and it cracks. So you gotta wait like about 5 minutes just for it to cool down and then add it to your simple syrup to soak into that cardamom ginger flavored sugar syrup. So while I'm making my balls, don't make them too big, they will swell. My simple syrup is boiling. And it will look small, but it will swell also when it's soaking, as I said, in that sugar syrup. It will get bigger. So let me roll out the rest. I'll show you guys. While your rolled out balls is one side, wet a bounty piece of sheet of paper towel and cover it. So it will prevent it from drying out while you continue making the rest. While we're frying, I will continue to talk a little bit about it again. Our syrup is finished. I have the heat on low. I'm going to move it out from here and start frying up the gulab jamun balls or rasgula as you know it by. This is what your syrup will look like. It's not going to be a sticky consistency. So let me move out this and we'll start frying up those balls. Our oil is hot or heated. We're going to start dropping in our balls. The reason why I used one of this pot to fry them in and not a shallow pot, I will have to use less oil in this pot. If I used a shallow pot to fry it in, then I would have had to use more oil to fry it. So we're just going to let them fry. It will float up. And once it floats up, make sure your heat is low. It will take its time. It will cook. Just be careful when you're putting them in. When it's ready to turn, it will let out. It will float up to the top as well too. The ones that didn't float up, just don't touch it. It will do its thing on its own. And fry them on low heat. See how it let out? It will come up for itself. Let it fry on low heat at this point, because it has to get a nice golden brown color but cook inside. And you see it's frying smooth. There's no cracks. Gulab jamun is one of a favorite dessert in India, Pakistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and the Caribbean. It is enjoyed by many. It is one of the most famous desserts there is. Gulab jamun, and it's known as rasgula in the Caribbean. So you can also use a bamboo skewer to just move them around. And this set is looking pretty good. So I'm going to take them out. You're going to have a plate to put them in. And we're going to fry out the rest. As I said, you can't put them directly or immediately into that sugar syrup just as yet. You have to let them cool down for a bit. Just give it like a 5 minutes before putting it into that sugar syrup. Because if you put them in now, it's going to lose its shape and it will not be round. It will not stay round. So just drop them in, don't turn them. When it's ready to turn, it will come up and float up on its own. So this is what our balls will look like. So our gulab jamun balls is finished after leaving for 5 minutes to cool down. We'll add our syrup. We'll go in. And this will soak in that syrup until it absorbs all or some of that liquid, that sugary liquid. Remember, it's flavored with the cardamom pods and the cinnamon stick and ginger